Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. It's Amy at Crafty Cat. My goodness. It was like all the words at once. Today, we're going to be doing, of course, the hashtag Color Combo 2023. If you're not familiar with this challenge, it is hosted by Tammy at Lou Frou Studios, and there's a link in the description box below this video. Each month, she takes a color. For example, this month is purple or lavender or whatever, and then she mixes it with a secondary color. That's how you get a combo. So for example, last week was plum and tan. This week is violet and cornflower blue. So these are the two colors that we'll be using. I'm going to be using Tim Holtz Distress Oxides Wilted Violet. And this blueprint sketch to me reads very cornflower blue. So those are what I'm using. You use what you like. All I do is take my Distress Oxide onto a piece of plastic. This is Mylar, but if you just have like some acetate, or you could even do something like this outside on like a dollar store shower curtain or whatever, but you just take and smear your Distress Oxide like that onto it, and then you can use this essentially like a palette. So you can dip into it. I'm going to dip into it like watercolor. You can also take and spritz it with water and let it drip all over. That's how I did that tissue paper that I used in the last video on the altered book. I just dripped it all over, and then I would spray the tissue paper a little bit too to help it bleed out. But also, I have some sprays. So wherever there were spots that didn't really have a whole lot of color on the tissue paper, I would spray with the sprays, but you can probably get the same effect just doing that. Another thing you can do is wet it a little bit and dip your paper into it. That gives you some color on your paper. So, and you don't have to use these colors. You can use whatever colors you want to do this sort of technique. This is nothing like earth-shaking or new. This is just, I want to make some kind of background, painterly type background papers. And I saw recently on Pinterest, I was looking at Pinterest, and I saw reverse coloring book pages. So essentially what those are is there's all the color on the page, and then you doodle in whatever you see in there or feel like having on there. So yeah, I just thought something like that might be kind of cool for junk journals, or just as background painterly type papers. And you've done this kind of stuff with me if you've been with me for a while. If you're new, welcome. And this is a great project to start if you're just learning how to make junk journals, because these would be great, interesting, artistic, stylized, kind of papers to use. So I just have copy paper, regular, plain, nothing fancy copy paper. You could use watercolor paper, but for background pages, that you want to fold for a journal, it's too thick in my opinion. So, but you use whatever you like, because obviously watercolor paper, you're going to get more of the blooming and those type of effects that you're not going to get with plain copy paper. But I mean, this is just really meant to be fun, and the papers will turn out pretty cool. So I don't know. I'm just going to spritz a little light bit of water, and yes, it's going to curl and wrinkle and do all the things. And I have a 16 round Arteza paintbrush. You can use whatever you like, whatever brand you like. And I am going to dip into the blue first. And we're just going to kind of do, I don't know, big loosey-goosey flowers. I don't know, for lack of a different term. And I'm going to leave some white space, and I'm just kind of, and again, I am not a professional watercolorist, so I'm sure people that are may do this different. And I tell you guys that because I don't want people to think this is how you do it, because there's a lot of other people that are way better at watercolor than I am, for example. So I just like to tell you on YouTube what you're getting here. This is just my way. This does not mean it's the right way. It's just the way I like to do it. So And I don't want them to be like totally perfect. And like I said, I want some white space and all of that. We're just getting loose. And I keep adding water to my paint as I want. Oh, you know what else would be kind of fun is to do a. I'm totally into these. What do you call them? Swatches. I don't know why I can't remember that. For the life of me, I cannot remember that. So anyhow, but that's what they are. Swatches. Just do a swatch of that, and then maybe we could even go even lighter. Then when you doodle, you could you know, doodle around these or what have you. And you can do them how you want. You can do circles, you know, whatever. Just have fun with it. It's meant to be fun. I probably should have done more room there and done a lighter one of that too, but it's all right. You get the idea. And then I'm just going to come over here, kind of do another flower. Just real loose. They're almost like little hearts. Just don't have to get super serious about it. Add an extra petal in here and there. And it, like I said, it's good to leave a little white space here and there is fine. You don't have to fill in every little nook and cranny perfectly. Oops, that wasn't real great. So what are you guys up to? Anything exciting? I hope that you're having a nice summer so far. We have just had the strangest weather on the planet. It is hot now. It's supposed to be 100 degrees next week. So we went from freezing, I mean, not freezing, but you know, the 50s. Feels cold for this time of the year. No, this next week we're going to be in the hundreds. It's a bizarre land, I'm telling you. Strangest summer I've seen. I mean, you know, quite frequently you do get some days that are not the warmest in the summer, but it just seems like it's been really wacky. So these kind of loose flowers are always hard for me. I struggle with this kind of thing because I am a control freak, but I think this is good. This is like childhood type watercolor. You know, this is the kind of stuff you might have done as a kid. And it'll probably end up looking like that too, but it's all right. Okay. Maybe we'll have one over here. Oh, look at that. It's turning more of a violet color right there. I was looking at cornflowers themselves, bachelor buttons we always called them, but anyhow, because they grew wild all over the town I grew up in, and they're basically cornflower blue and violet, and then there's the little white ones too with the dark purple centers. So yeah, it was interesting. I never really thought about it. I mean, I knew what colors they were, but never thought a whole lot about it. I guess I'm just going to keep using this brush. I was trying to think if there was something else I wanted to use. But then I'm just going to do kind of I have no idea what these are. But again, the cool part about doing these painterly pages or like reverse coloring books is it's not necessarily supposed to be super specific, because the person who sees it can envision it a different way. and they may draw something totally different than what you originally sort of were thinking in the first place when you painted the page. So, I don't know. It's kind of a cool concept, I think. And fun. Super fun. Need more water. Gonna need more paint here in a minute. Ink, whatever. But you totally do this with watercolors. I mean, obviously. Because I'm basically using that Distress Oxides like watercolors. And I may add just a little bit of green in. Just to give us another something in there. The 3 thing, you know, three colors, 3 circles, 3 whatever. And this is just a lid to a what do you might call it? Like, oh my gosh, cookie sheet pan, brownie pan thing. And I never really used the lid, and then the brownie pan croaked, you know, got old and disgusting and thrown out. And so it was like, well, I might as well use that lid to paint in. So think of stuff like that that you have floating around in your kitchen that never's been used or whatever, that you can use for, I use it for dyeing, doing, what do you call it? Coffee dye, whatever. I'm just gonna do some little ones that could be kind of like smaller opening plants. Let's do a little bit of green. I just want some kind of green. I'm not sure what. Check all my colors here. I'm just looking in my Distress Oxides, sorry. I don't know if I want forest. That's probably all I've got. I don't have a whole lot of, there's so many, you know what I mean? It's like impossible to me to get all the colors. And I don't have any more not acetate, plastic, whatever. So let's see which one of these we like better. Might use a combo of both. So that is Bundled Sage. And then that's the Forest Moss. I think the Bundled Sage is probably going to be the winner. But let me see. It kind of is pasty or chalky. Oh, I just ruined it. God, I didn't wash out my brush well enough. Got purple in there. Trying to think. Let me see that color. Yeah, neither one of those is super spectacular. Let me check my sprays. I have the Shabby Shutters, which is more gray. I have the Peeled Paint. Where did I put that? That might be the winner. Yeah, I think that might be the winner. I like that lighter one, but I'm afraid it's going to be too light. Get my brush cleaned out here. Let me just do this. Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, they're both real close. Maybe I'll just kind of sort of use them both a little bit. I'm just going to do little because obviously we're looking at wanting more of the cornflower blue and the violet. See, like, I like that flower, and that one's not bad, but I don't really like any of the other ones. This is why loose is real hard for me. I don't think I do a very good job at it. Okay, and then we will do some splatters, and this one will need to go dry somewhere, and then we'll do something else entirely different than flowers. Okay, there's like no color on there. Oh my gosh, you guys. I am just a calamity Jane today. It's going to be one of those kind of days, I can tell. Where everything's just a mess. I mean, you can do circles, you can do squiggles. I mean, whatever you want. You don't have to do flowers. That was just sort of what came to me. But you can do whatever. Okay, that one's going to go dry. And we will check it in a bit. Put it down on Pasha's paper. He has paper, crinkly paper on the packing paper on the floor. Because he likes that. Okay, so this one I think I'm going to, surprise, use my little blower because I love it. You can use a straw. I keep meaning to say that and I keep on forgetting that yes, you can use a straw. I just have my little blower, so that's what I use. But definitely. Works if you make a puddle for the little blooming. I don't know what Pasha's into. If you hear crinkly, like I told you guys before, he loves paper and plastic. So he will lick plastic for hours, it feels like sometimes. And you just have to say, stop! But he usually won't. Because he's a spoiled baby cat. And he does whatever he feels like. He's the spoiled baby cat. So I was saying yesterday that it's good that the squirrels give him a little bit of heck, because he gets his way a whole lot. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are shocked that I'm using my sprayer or my air blower. I guess you can, they're to clean camera lenses. There's a lot of different places that you can like get them. They're not just for art, but you definitely can get them for blowing ink, paint, whatever. They're easy to find. But, you know, if you want to do a search for them, you might be able to find them by camera blowers or ink blower, paint blower, something like that. They're just fun. Oh, I got something in my eye, sorry. It'll be interesting to see how these dry with the oxide ink. Distress oxide. Something different. And feel free to speed up if you are not into this and just want to see the end result or whatever. But I think these would be super duper fun, you know, to have in a journal just for some decorative pages. Like I'm probably going to use some of these in the journal that I'm working on right now. And you could do more colors too. I'm just using these because those are our colors today. So I like doing this in different layers like I'm doing because, and if you let them dry and come back and add more, it really turns out kind of cool. I mean, you could just put down, if you have the sprays, spray them all over. They look really cool with the sprays too. I just don't have sprays in either of those colors. And obviously copy paper will get to the point where it won't take really any more water. You could do this on book page, but again, just be careful because obviously it makes it more fragile than it already is. So you just gotta watch. So if you wanted to use these as reverse coloring pages, they would be fun because you could do just all kinds of craziness and get some cool effects, you know. All kinds of cool doodles. You could even do like Zen doodling if you wanted, or real simple doodling. Just depends on how much time you want to take. Or no doodling. That's also a thing. You guys should go watch Darcy's Misadventures in Mixed Media. She did the Watercolor Wednesday, and she did these crazy little birds, and she did some blowing with a straw to like get funny little feathers and stuff on their heads. They turned out super cute. So definitely check her out, and I'll try to remember. I linked her last week. I'll try to remember to do it again. But those were very fun. I was thinking you could also do monsters or aliens with the same technique. Funny little monsters for Halloween or something, if you like that. Just gonna do a little bit more purple here. Or violet. You're turning violet, Violet. One of my daughter's favorite movies. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. She likes the one with Johnny Depp the best, and my son likes the old version the best. It's so funny. But my daughter's always been a Johnny Depp fan. From the time she was very little, she likes that odd, quirky sort of thing. That's her deal. Losing some of it with the water, huh? I might just put some spatters on there and then let it dry and maybe try again, because as you can see, I lost a lot. It just got muddied and, or too wet, you know, and made it go away, which happens. And if you don't like to do splatters, you don't have to. They're just fun. I like what it adds. And I have a dirty and clean water. You can do it by cool and warm colors, but I like dirty and clean better because I like it to be very clean when I want it clean. If you see what I'm saying. I don't want any extra color in it. Okay, we're going to let that one dry. And we'll do maybe one more, and then I'll get them dry and come back and we can play with them. Let's see. I'm going to do a couple of just little ones. Oh, so sorry. Probably broke your eardrums on that one. And got a big old splob of purple on there that's not really probably going to go anywhere. It's a nice square. It's a nice purple square. Who knows? It could end up being something cool. We'll try it. Just going to put some color there, or water, whatever this stuff is. This definitely works better on watercolor paper, no doubt. No doubt about it. Okay, on here I'm going to show you kind of how I do the drippy thing, and it's real easy because it just starts dripping. So this works great on the tissue paper because you definitely get that spreading of color and all. So that's literally all I did on the tissue paper along with the sprays. There's a little bit of the blue on the corner. I can get a hold of the blue one. Might make some cool effect. These are going to be very abstract-y. And we're definitely going to get some purple happening. Oh, so the other thing you can do, like I said, is either put the plastic right down on another piece like this, or you can put the paper onto the plastic, you see. And that also cleans off your plastic. And this might be probably the quickest way. Just get a bunch of water and color on there, and then you can play with it, spray it, do whatever you feel like. You can also run drips, like drip and run, you know, this kind of thing, to see what you get. I don't know if it's going to work. That's the only thing with copy paper. It has to have a puddle, a real big puddle to work. You don't get near as much movement with copy paper. But I think these will make really neat backgrounds. I know right now you're like, this is, what is this mess? But it really can be kind of cool. I'm just going to kind of leave those like that. And then I can touch this down on here. Will it drip at all? Not much. That one's dripping. This is the cool part about the oxide ink, is you can see it oxidizing, obviously. That's the whole point. And luckily it's water soluble, so it comes off my desk because I have a mess over here. So you could make these up in all kinds of colors. Neutrals, like you could just do this with coffee and tea and stuff and get it dry and then come back and add to it. Kind of like we've done before with the drips and whatnot. All right, I'm going to get these dry, these ones that I've done, and then we'll come back and maybe do a little doodling on one just so you can see what it would look like. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and they're mostly dry. I just wanted to tell you guys I did digitalize this so that if you are interested in a copy of it, it's obviously just a photocopy because you're going to get it as a digital download. It's available in my Etsy shop and it's called The Treehouse. The Treehouse. So if you go looking for it or whatever, it's a digital download. So that is in the shop if you are interested in it. And then we're gonna doodle, I think, on this one. These ones are still just a tiny bit wet, but they came out really cool. Like they look really neat. Like they would look neat. I don't know what got on that one, but anyhow, just fold it in half in a journal, or you could make a pocket out of it, or cover one of your pages in your altered book with it, which I may end up doing that with these, you know, taking strips or whatever to cover, let me see. For example, this type of thing, you know, you could put them in here. And I know they're not quite as long, but we've talked about that before. And you can use other pieces of paper, or you could use a whole sheet, because then you would get something long enough. So then you could have your pocket, you know, backed with that and strips of it on here if you wanted. So there's lots of things that you could do with those, I think. And like I said, you can do lots of other colors too. I just did these because that was our color combo. So we're going to play with this one a little bit. And you can leave them like this because this, I think, would look really cool in a journal. just as it is. And obviously these aren't papers that you're gonna make a stack of 100 of, right? These are just little special bits that you can put in your journals. They're not the pieces that you have, you know, it's not like just regular coffee dyed paper where you fill up your journal with just these. I mean, you definitely could, and that would be quite a piece of art. So, yeah, however you want to do it. I think I'm gonna use some color as well. I have these alcohol markers. These are Arteza too. Arteza, for a while, I was kind of working with Arteza, and they would send me stuff and I would use it and do reviews or what have you. So these are just the things that I have left. So I'm just kind of doing rough, sketchy. It can be out of the lines. It doesn't have to be perfect because obviously these are not perfect. You're just giving the idea of what it is, right? This could come in here a little bit more. And then you could have a center in it. I can't remember which color this was. That's the darker one. I want the lighter one. And you could just do some little centers in there. And the cool thing about alcohol markers is they're going to obviously go over the top of it well, over the top of the watercolor paint well. I mean, obviously the yellow is never great. Let me just say, yellow is never great. So then, but you could make these as detailed as you wanted too. You could get real detailed in however you wanted your flowers. But as you can see, I'm just doing real rough, real whatever, because I'm not trying to make it perfect. And then around the leaves, I'm just going to do this, and you can do the lines inside. I want that really loose look. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if I'm making this very understandable. But I don't want it to be like you have to draw it this way, because that our whole thing with junk journals, right, is that it's supposed to be more like loose, fun, just however, it's not supposed to be super strict. Like, you know, the early days of scrapbooking when it was pretty strict. Everything had to be sized and correct and perfect, and we kind of got away with that with junk journaling, and I like that a lot because I'm not great at real strict. I follow rules like laws and those kind of things, but I don't like in games or whatever, I don't like a bunch of rules or things I have to follow because I just don't do well with that. A lot of strategy, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I like a looser look on art. So anyway, I think you guys get the idea here. You just need to make that one a little more. My son's texting me. If you're hearing the dings, he went and bought himself a new chair to take back up to school with him. And I think he got to work earlier than he had anticipated, and so he's probably bored, or, you know, jabbering at me about something, which is awesome that he still does that. Because nothing I like better than jabbering at my kids. It makes me happy. All right, so I think you guys are getting the idea of how I would do this. Not that I know everything, just this is how I would do it. I do like the oxide inks. They're cool. You know, what would be cool is to have the Distress Oxide markers, which do not have those, but that would be fun to have for this. So if you have yours or have some, it would be fun. The alcohol ink does work well though. I mean, you could do each kind of leaf different. You could do dots, or I'm just kind of doing them all the same, but I'm not as crazy about my purple flowers. I like the blue flowers. Purple flowers are a little weird, but that's okay. They're just loose and fun. I do struggle with it, as y'all I have said. It's funny because I prefer the look. I like the ease of not being so strict on art or whatever. But then when I go to do it, I'm real critical of myself. Yeah, it's an interesting combination, right? This one needs some lighter ones. But I think we are our own worst enemies, so to speak. I don't love the greens when they oxidize because they get super that like almost neon yellow around them, and I don't really like it. That one's more folded over. I don't know if it looks like that, but that was what I was going for. How do I want to do this? You could do more like circles or something too, so it looks more like a lavender or a lilac or something like that. I think it's looking real cool though. Wouldn't that be cool as like a whole page in your journal? Oops, wrong direction, Amy. Oh boy. Brain. Big brain time, as my son would say. And if you want, you don't have to do it. I am all over the place, so you can see how my brain works. It's like a snapshot right now. But you can obviously like do all the purple flowers and then do all the blue flower, you know. But like I said, this is a perfect snapshot of my brain. When I say it's all over the place, I mean it's all over the place. and my days of a steady hand are gone. That's another reason for not wanting to have to do things perfectly, because I can't. My hand does not work that way anymore. And you know, the thing that's cool about doing these kind of things is someone else may see these flowers entirely different than the way that I see them. So, and that's awesome. Like, that's what it should be. It shouldn't be all of us doing the exact same thing. So, I might be going along and you're like, oh no, that's not how I, saw that one or whatever. It should be more like this. And it's like, yeah, that's just kind of how it works. So, um, you know, I think it's good. And feel free to fast forward because I know this is taking an eon. But thanks for hanging out with me. If you're hanging out with me, I appreciate it. Because I know I'm on a tangent. I'm on a tangent. And it's going. I like it though. I like it a lot better than I thought I would. When I first started, I was like, oh, this is going to be a disaster. But I do like it, surprisingly. Let me go ahead and do this one over the blue one. I've been kind of putting them behind the blue ones, but I think I'm going to make it come on top. For a change. So these are going to be a little bit more like maybe buds or not completed ones yet. One more up here, huh? Now see, I've started doing all the purple ones together. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll do the blue. And these Arteza pens have both the fat and the skinny end, so this end is like that, if that's anything you wanted to know. And they're alcohol ink, and they do work very well. I don't use them very much because that's just not really my style of art. Well, at the moment, I didn't use watercolor forever either, and all of a sudden it strikes me and there I go. So you never know. Let's do the darker. Oops. This has kind of a 60s vibe to me, sort of. Maybe it's the colors, the green or something. I don't know what it is, but that's the vibe I'm getting off of it. keep wanting to do those leaves upside down, and it's taking all my brain power to make them go the right way when they're upside down. Isn't that weird? I shouldn't admit those things out loud, right? If you're aging, you know, if you're in your 50s or better, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. It is so crazy, the difference in my brain compared to what it used to be. And I say that to my son because he gets irritated with me with the showing me how to do certain things on the computer. Because he'll be like, I just showed you this. It's like, they're in I don't think you understand. If I don't do it multiple times regularly, I will not remember how to do it. It's just pure and simple how it is. Used to, yes. I used to be great. I never kept a calendar. I never did any of that when I was in school. I could remember all of it. But no more. Well, and plus, if you work with any young people on computers, he whips around on there like his hands are on fire. I mean, it is like, there's no way I can follow that in a million years. So, okay. So that is what we ended up with. I really kind of like it. I think it's just real different. I mean, wouldn't that be cool in a journal? Or as a pocket or a whatever. Fun. So anyway, I hope you guys give it a try. Sorry, I know that was probably sort of daunting to watch, but anyways. I will chat again with you guys on Monday, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I love you guys, and thanks for hanging with me. Talk later. Bye.